how they retrieved the balls and sold the balls or whatever, man. But, man, outside of that, like, I don't know any old dude before Tiger Woods came along that really talked about it, had an affinity for golf. And now Atlanta is a little bit different, very progressive city, a lot of educated black people here in ATL. I would guess on the higher spectrum of incomes as far as black Americans in this country. So maybe they golf was a thing back in the day, and there are a couple of quote-unquote black golf courses here in Atlanta, in metro Atlanta. Alfred Tupp Holmes, John A. White. I think there's a couple of more golf courses over there in the southwest part of town. But where I'm from, and most of y'all, I would imagine, man, golf was not a thing until Tiger came along. I mean, it wasn't even close. We scoffed at golf. Why would you sit there and being a fan of football and basketball and ninjas dunking and hitting and Walter Payton and running backs and baseball, even when baseball was super, super popular? Why would you sit there after being exposed to all of those sports and watch lame, slow golf for 4 hours? Tiger Woods changed that, man. He did. From Clay mask on, mask off Davis, it wasn't a tough weekend for Eldrick. He took some pills and got pulled over. They tell you not to get behind every machinery when taking certain pills. Okay. From LD from the D. What up, LD from the D? Good morning to you, sir. He said, sad thing about that is when I heard it was Tiger that got the DUI, I didn't even bat an eye or read the article. The dude is basically irrelevant to me nowadays. Wow. That's tough. That's tough. And a lot of times athletes do, at the end of their careers, when they hang on or whatever, man, it doesn't end well. At some point you're going to hit a wall. But the way that Tiger's hit a wall, Tiger's proverbial wall, man, it's just bad. It's just bad. Going back, and I didn't even realize until I started doing some research on the story, man, and read 2008. Is the last time. It's almost been 10 years this man has won a major. That's crazy. And so in 2008, when he won the U.S. Open, the last major that he's won, at that point, he was 4 wins away from Jack Nicklaus for tying Jack Nicklaus in majors. And it was a foregone conclusion. Okay, so what? You're talking 9 years? Out of the four majors they have, for people that don't follow golf like that, they have 4 major tournaments a year, okay? And you would think some years he'd win 2, hell, some years he might even win 3. But he's definitely going to win 1 major a year, right? Okay? So he would have already passed. Let's just say he won 1 major a year each year for the last year. He would have already been 5 past Jack Nicklaus. But such is not the case. This man hadn't won a major since 2008. And even when me and my brother were arguing about this, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and he thought, oh, man, I think maybe the conversation started about will he pass Jack, maybe 2-3 years after the last major in 2008. So even then, when that conversation started to happen, and me and my brother were on opposite sides of the debate, even I said, he'll probably win 1 or 2. Before he gets out, just because he's that great. Even on his bad days, he's just as good as most golfers on the tour. But even that didn't look like it's going to come to fruition now, man. This man hadn't won 1 major, which is crazy when you think about the phenomenon as Tiger Woods. It's crazy. From Clay mask on, mask off Davis. That's why Steve Kerr is struggling right now. Them back surgeries are no joke. My old man, speaking of my old man again, he had back surgery. We got bad backs in our families. We do. A lot of times we need bacchiotomies. My mother's struggling right now with a bad back. She sometimes, man, and it just flares up. She really doesn't do anything to bring it on. It's just like habitual. And she'll be down for like a week and a half. And she's really contemplating getting back surgery right now. So, knock on wood, I really haven't had any issues with my back in my life. I sprained my back before playing football, but that's just a couple of days, and it wasn't something that was reoccurring or something that was long-standing. My brother has real bad back issues. And, yeah, when you start struggling with your back, it ain't no joke. And there's a story about Steve Kerr that I'll bring in that's kind of relevant to all of this back conversation with Tiger Woods and the surgeries and whatnot. From Run CNC, they just showed police report, and he had .00 on his blood alcohol. So, like he said, it could have been a mixture of those pills. Well, clearly that's the case if he didn't have any alcohol in his system. From T-Dub, good morning, T-Dub. He says, Big L, that was my son playing defensive back his freshman year on varsity, his first game. From J. Clyde Sensor, Andre Crook, crazy bouncing, shaking my head. My cousin runs the 110 hurdles. He didn't do good that meet. I was checking it all out. They're talking about track and field and the Doug Stewart show. From Corporate Brother in the chat room on Spreaker.com. I wonder is the gates to keep crime out or keep your ass in? Talking about the great Goody Mo B, one of the lines in Cell Therapy, classic track. If you're just joining the show, we're paying homage to the great CeeLo Goody, CeeLo Green from Goody Mob today. Today is his birthday. From Corporate Brother, Tiger was on pain meds and alcohol. The combination of both is what did it. Based on a comment we read a little bit earlier, there was no alcohol found in his bloodstream at all. From Rough Buff X Squad, them pills is big on these streets. RC, Tiger needs to remember what happened to Michael Jackson and Prince. From KC, when you mix prescription drugs and Hennessy, bad things happen. Once again, the man wasn't drinking no damn Hennessy, okay? Allegedly. There was no Hennessy found in the man's system. From J. Rob, the apology is more on the fact that he drove and knew he was impaired. But that's what I said earlier. If you're impaired, if you're not thinking correctly mentally, you don't know that. You understand what I'm saying? If you're mentally impaired, you're mentally impaired, which means you can't rationalize like you normally do. Sidney Jackson, I took an anti-inflammatory pill one time, and I started sweating and the room started spinning. Those side effects are real, especially if you're not used to taking that ish. So I told y'all I take, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Today's a Tribute Tuesday. So I've been taking blood pressure medication for about 7 months now. And I take one in the morning and I take one at night. And no lie, whenever I take this blood pressure medicine, I start spinning. You kind of feel lightheaded or whatever, man, and it wears off after a little bit. But I'd say 5-10 minutes after I take the medicine, man, everything's kind of like spinning. I kind of see these little spots or whatever, so it definitely has some type of effect on me. And, yeah, if you mix prescription medicines together, that's just a bad combination. From Sluggo, mainstream is suppressing the non-alcohol side of the story. If that's included, it becomes a non-story. To a large degree, I agree with you. As I've tried to explain in talking about the story, if this was a mistake and there was no alcohol involved, I mean, what? Unless he was abusing some other drug, that combined with this pain medicine that he was taking. But that's neither here nor there. We don't have any evidence to that at all. From Rail Scott, you got a case, he's just trying to get the money. From Rough Buff, they're trying to take Tiger down. These companies paid this man all this money, and now he's not producing. They're ready to cash out. You think so? You think it's a conspiracy? Dun, 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 dun. So what are you saying? That Tiger might have like an ethics clause in his contracts with whatever companies, Buick, Nike, and that if he breaks the ethic clause and getting a DUI, getting arrested, or having a bad image that's associated with said brand, that they can get out of the deal? I hear you. Maybe. From RC Corey, I was talking about how both MJ and Prince died. Oh, drugs. Okay. From Loose Neck Tiger's Uber driver. Yeah, that's another thing. When this story happened, me and my wife were sitting there watching TV, and the story came across the screen. And I said to her, when I was thinking, like most of you probably were, that it was alcohol involved, like, you got $500 million. Like, you're Shaquille O'Neal. You got $300 million. Your feet should never look like that. You got, I don't know, Tiger's worth probably $500 million. You got $500 million in the bank. You could easily call Uber. You could easily have a full-time damn driver. I would never drive if I had $500 million. I would have a full-time chauffeur. I would. What the hell is Tiger Woods doing driving? You got $500 million in the bank. Why would you drive at 3 a.m. in the morning? Why would you do that? Like, it makes no sense at all. Clearly, you can afford a driver. You can afford one of them Ubers or whatever. And I can't see Tiger Woods calling Uber. But, yeah, you're not supposed to be in that situation. And I know a lot of times, man, I've been there. And I'm not happy to admit it. I've been there where you've gone out, you've had a drink, you plan to only have 2 so you can make sure and stay under the limit, and then your boy walk in that you ain't seen since y'all were in middle school, and he buys you another drink. I've been there. So he walks in, he buys you another drink, and damn, right before you walk out, you see some dudes from work, and they buying shots. Hey, drink a shot with us. And you risk it. You're not thinking right. Once again, you're mentally not functioning properly. And you take it home and you make it home. 99% of the time, or most of the time, we make it home. So I understand I've been there and that's wrong. We shouldn't do that. And you could die. People other than yourself could die. I get all of that. But a lot of times, male egos, man, I ain't buying no damn Uber. I'm not calling a cab or whatever. That shouldn't be a question for Tiger Woods. It shouldn't be. I'm taking out all of the talk about the prescription medication. I'm saying Tiger Woods, with the amount of money that he has, I know he has it. With the amount of money that Tiger Woods has in his bank account, he should never drive, period. Period. Matter of fact, he should have a darn guest house for his driver. He should have his driver's own personal guest house. Never. And especially when you know you're going to be out at 3 a.m. in the morning. Because just the optics of being out at 3 a.m. in the morning says, I've been drinking. I've been partying. I was at a club. I was at a lounge or whatever. No reason Tiger Woods should be out driving at 3 a.m. in the morning. Take out the drugs. Take out the painkillers. There's no reason for this man to be driving at 3 a.m. in the morning with a bank account that says $500 million plus. None. Back in 3 minutes. Hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show.
My swag's on the Richter scale. 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 And I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, yeah. Let go. Okay, I am Mr. Greatness. You may wanna take this. Introduce me to a scale, I guarantee I break it. Introduce me to a beat, I guarantee I rape it. Earthquake flow, 2012. Doomsday beat. I'm a cool kid, and you are just a stepchild. I am so sci-fi, bringing out the X-File. Label me the true troublemaker in the booth. There's a hole in my ceiling, cause my swagger through the roof. My swag's on the Richter scale. 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 And I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah.
If I open my closet up, so ring sounded off. I keep it 99